Good afternoon, everyone. I assume that you can hear me right now. I would like to apologize following the comments from Victor that we are starting a little bit later, but I hope that now everything will be fine. Let me introduce myself. I'm Tomáš Gila, the founder of European Center for Career Education. If you have at any time any comments, any to know, please write us to the comment section. We will not be accepting the voice questions during the presentation because it will disrupt the whole program. But whatever you would like to know, just write it down. If you cannot hear or if you feel there is any technical problem, the same applies. So do not worry about presentation is with a slight delay, maybe 10 seconds. So if we reply to you slightly later, just wait for a second. Now, as far as I know, there should be plenty of you from different parts of India. So what I would like to do during the presentation would be to focus directly on the region because we have students from regions. All in all, I think last year when there was no COVID, no problems, we had students registered from, I think, 65 countries, which was very impressive number. But as far as I know, there are many different concerns, many different questions, and they differ from country to country, region to region. So I'll try to focus very much on India itself. If you feel there is something what was missed, just let me know. Otherwise, we have the presentation for you prepared. So if you be interested to learn, any information from the presentation, no matter what, we will provide all of you who join the webinar tomorrow with the presentation, so you can get back to any information included there. And I will try to follow. You do not need to worry. The plan is more or less to spend maybe 30 minutes on the presentation plus video from last year. And then we will get directly into questions and whatever you are interested in. So now I will launch the presentation. I hope that you'll be able to see it in a few seconds. When it comes to ECCE or what we do, the best information resource at this moment is the website because it is the most updated one. We have many different companies. We work with many different partners. But we try to update always the website. What I would like to do today with you is to basically give you the general idea about what we do and very to the point explain to you our programs and how we are different from any other provider in the world. Because there is really very, very, very unique vision. I will start from our core product or our core programs. And here, basically on the first slide, you can very, clearly see what is the structure. We try to operate, as you can see in the presentation, in a way which is very much complementary to the standard university education, because we do believe that there is a significant do, but at the same time, we believe there is also a lot which is left and which students all around the world, no matter whether they are from India, China, United States, or from any other country, what they do not have when they are moving from university to the. And what we do is we structure it together with the most prestigious business leaders, architecture leaders, basically with companies which are in the real world, because they know the best what they need, and we prepare our content together with them. So now, when it comes to those two key values we try to deliver every single year to our students are very much a real life experience, because we do not work with any professors. We do not work with mentors and coaches and people who basically talk. We try to work with people who do understand all of those topics we deliver and who can speak by their own. Comes to just to give you a very quick, very quick example before we will get to the video where you will see everything yourself. When it comes to, for instance, digital marketing, of course, you can, understand and learn about digital marketing from a professor. But our lecturer on digital marketing is a CEO of Facebook for Central and Eastern Europe. And when what the digital marketing is right now about and what you really need to know. It is the same when it comes to real estate. It is the same when it comes to, let's say, contract law, because it is something completely different to learn something from the book as a professor, read about it and speak about it. But it is completely different when you, for instance, did yourself several multi-billion or transactions, and then you basically speak from the experience. So the experience is the first value, and the second one is inspiration. Because when you speak with people who really went through it, they can tell you what is right and what basically is, I do not want to say the word fake, but many things these days are being to a certain extent faked. So these speakers about giving you the most up-to-date information to basically speak from their own stories. So this is the part where inspiration is communicated. Now, because I do believe that video is always much better than words, I would its long video. The video is from last year, from 2019, and everything what you will see is basically based on our students, our partners, our program last year. The video will take approximately 2 minutes. So I'll play it, and I will try to explain to you in more detail all the information included there. So now, give me a moment. To understand real life, you need to learn from people who really experience it. Those are not academics. Those are people being in the front lines, fighting. ECC brings to life globally unique educational program doing just that.
Challenge, creative,
Prospective,
adventure, wonderful,
practical,
experience, friendship.
We focus on two values and two values only: experience and inspiration. And we make sure that every one of our speakers has it.
We innovate, we focus on what's important now, not 5 years ago. We communicate with key stakeholders in each field and we listen to them.
There is no time to waste time. We have in between 2 to 4 different study blocks every single day. And our speakers, they have experienced the field and they succeeded.
No more books, no more memorizing. We'll take you into the real world of lectures given by top consultants, directors of firms, professors. We'll do site visits and excursions, and we'll have a guaranteed 4-week-long program of internships.
How is it possible? Our partners agree with our vision. They understand that leaders must share their experience and prepare future generations.
We take sincere care of our students, and we cannot wait to meet those passionate, ambitious, and energetic young professionals.
During this period in Czech Republic, I made a lot of friends, which was really important for me. And the second most interesting thing was that ECC helped me to expand my networking, and I met a lot of experienced lawyers, a lot of business people, that if it was not from ECC, I would never be in touch with them. So it was really important for me.
The lecture given here by the experienced lecturers is more detailed and comprehensive, which I believe will be much helpful in the future.
It's more than just a program, it's more like a place where you can be inspired and motivated by students and lecturers around you.
If you want to learn how real life looks in your field, come and join us.
The best experience that every student can have.
So I hope that you've seen everything what was there. Once again, every single part of the video is part of our program from last year, all students there. So I think it gave you a little bit of the feeling how our programs are structured. I'll try to go back to our presentation and basically explain to you the whole concept and how we work with it. I told you that very much what we care about is to help students to bridge the gap in between the university on one side and the real life on the other one. And we do believe that online education is wonderful, but unfortunately, it cannot help with all troubles, with all problems. It does not really give you the direct experience. It does not give you the direct connection with those CEOs and managers and entrepreneurs and architects and people who are working when it comes to online. When it comes to universities, I already tried to explain to you how and where believe they might not provide you with everything what you need. So that's why we design all of our programs in a way that they are always very much short-term programs. The most our summer programs, as I mentioned already. And the reason why summer programs is very simple, because during the summer your traditional education is basically not stopped, but you can continue with it after the summer. But during the summer, we can really give to our students everything what they need when they go into the real life. Now, because we are limited when always our programs, we do them for basically 2 months. In the initial 3 weeks, what we do is that we fill them with lectures. Every year we select in the fields, we do basically 30 topics, which are the most important by field. Sorry, not by field. By their relevance and by the experience and feedback we collect from the field. And we select to them speakers who are really experts in those areas. Once again, no professors, no coaches, no mentors, no talkers, but really doers. And so every single day, all of our students, they have 2 topics, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, basically for 3 hours. And after these 3 weeks, because when you think about it, you have 30 topics, 2 per day. So overall, it will take 3 weeks to go through lectures. After those 2 weeks, we provide all of our students with internships. Those internships are guaranteed. One of our students will have 1 month internship. We have at this moment more than 350 companies we work with. And just to give you a small taste about the brands we have been working with, we have on board with us companies like Coca-Cola, Lego, Siemens, T-Mobile, Unicredit, basically very large brands which are helping us with internships. And on the top of that, we have many other companies like IBM, Google, Red Hat, Microsoft, Facebook, which are helping content and preparation of the classes. So we do believe that these companies are basically market leaders, not only in Europe, but globally, and there is much to learn from them. Of course, I spoke about the number 350. So not all of our partners are big corporations, but the reason is very simple. Not all students in the future would like to taste, the corporate world corporations. Some of them might prefer to work for startups, for small boutique law firms, for small architecture studios, or maybe for the government. So we also want to basically structure our partner portfolio in, along basically this vision. And we want to offer different options when it comes to, the internships selection for our students. So now coming back to the structure, as I said, there will be 30 topics, 30 different speakers. All of them are experts in the field. And just to give you a small flavor, I told you that we are selecting on purpose topics which are not being covered by the universities. But on the top of that, we are also selecting topics which are being covered too theoretically by the universities. So then, you can put together, you will acquire and then work with it once you will apply for your first job. Very shortly, I will also explain to you the stories of our students from India, how they basically studied our programs and then they got very nice job opportunities afterwards. But to this point, I will get slightly later. Now, last but not least, I think I would like to spend a little bit longer on the internships because our vision or our expectation from internships, or why we even skills. The skills you will learn, and it will take years and years and months. It takes a long time. Our vision, why we do internships and why we cover such prestigious companies, is very simple. We want to give to our students basically the flavor about how those companies look inside, how they operate, what is the environment, whether this is something where our students can then work for additional 10 or 20 years. Because our feeling is that very often when you have, for instance, law firms, or very often students watch movies and then they feel that to be doing investment banking, for instance, is like to be working on Wall Street, like in the movie of Wall Street, and it's basically completely different experience. And by putting our students into those companies in 1 month, that feeling about how it is in reality. Now, one thing I missed when I was talking was that at this moment we are active basically in 4 fields. We have our programs, at least in Europe, in the fields of law, business, and architecture. So also our internships, they follow these areas. So we have many partners in all of these 3 fields. And for the next year, we will also launch our new IT program, where will be many companies like Red Hat, like Microsoft, like others, which will be providing internships. Now, on the slide, which you have in front of you, we put a very, we work with our companies. I think one very relevant information for all of you is that despite of the fact that first part of the program is taking place at this moment in Prague, or also we are opening Dubai this year. When it comes to internships, we have our partner companies in almost every single European country. So our partners, they are in Germany, France, Spain, Italy, but also in Iceland and let's say Lithuania. So in the first part, if you decide to join us, you will spend 3 weeks in the city of Prague. We will help you with all the logistic, everything what is slightly later. But after you will finish the first part, you will compete for internship placements, and you can very easily go for your internship to all of those countries I mentioned. And in every country we have different internship partners. One thing which is worthy to be mentioned. Last year, I think we had something around 250 internships confirmed, and we had around 160, 70 students who studied our program in Prague. So every single year when we have our students, they actually, even the student who is the last in the selection order in the competition for internships, even the last student can still choose basically between several companies. So you don't need to worry about us pushing you in some companies you might not really enjoy or like. Always it is basically your fair chance to get really into all of those companies providing it. Compete with other students, and the worst case scenario is that you will have the last selection spot, but even when you are last, at least you have 10 or 15 choices. This being said, I think I covered very quickly internships and why we have them as a part of our programs. Just a small reference to the photo you can see in front of you. Of course, both of those students are our students from last year. They are from Lego company, and if you want to see how basically those internships really look like, we have more than, I think, 40 or 50 videos on our YouTube channel. So you can go to our YouTube channel, ECC-EDU, and you can see their videos 2 minutes long from 50 different companies, more or less, where you can watch environment, what kind of students we had, what kind of leaders, basically get a direct feeling from what we do. One additional thing which is worthy to be mentioned, and which is very much tailor-made for Indian market, together with our partner who invited for the webinar. We will also do 2 special sessions of our programs. We will do one session from 9th November and one session from 5th April, for which you can basically apply for. They will both be discounted because they will not include internships. But we do believe that very often, even the first part, so this option, which might be cheaper for all of our students, might basically serve you with all of those market leaders, people from companies, and the knowledge we try to provide. But this is only if you basically cannot make it in the summer of next year, because overall, our programs are very long, 2 months. It takes some time, and sometimes universities, especially because of the COVID, to give you 2 months break. So if it happens, you can either apply for our summer programs without internships, or there will be 2 different runs from 9th November and 5th of April, which will be without internships. Now, moving on, I think about this. Once again, you can see not all the logos. You can see 60 logos of some of our partners which work with us, provide internships. And as you can see, all of them are industry leaders in their sectors. You have their companies like ExxonMobil or Siemens or Tesla or T-Mobile, which are business. You have their Clifford Chance, Allen & Overy, Linklaters, Bird & Bird, DLA Piper, leading law firms, or you have the Laswit or Chapman Taylor, one of the biggest names in architecture or design field. And if you go to our website, you can see the list of all of our partners providing internships. You can get a feeling about whom we work with and how highly credible it is. Because not everything is just about classes and internships and work, but there are also many skills we want to deliver to our students, which basically cannot be delivered only. We also organize quite rich entertainment program around, and everything starts with our opening grand reception. Again, you can see some photos, but on the video, you can see also the shots. And the reason why we do this opening grand reception is because we believe working. In the future, when you will develop your career, you will realize that the biggest value of, for instance, universities like Harvard or Oxford is not very often just about professors and the knowledge, but it is also very much about your friends, about the network you will basically build up around you. And during this, try to imagine the environment of one of the most luxurious hotels you can think of. So very expensive, very high-end, amazing food, amazing environment. Plus, you have there in between 200 and 300 CEOs, managers, firms, highly accomplished individual in one moment at one place, and you can basically engage with them in a very much informal atmosphere. You can build up relationships, and the reason why we do this part of our programs is very simple. We also want to teach you networking, which is very important. I believe that the networking is something what you can learn from the classroom. So we do this very large reception for you to get a feeling about the environment in which you will be in reality, maybe in the next 10, 15, 20 years, because it takes time to get there. But we want to realize how important it is to basically do the networking and do it properly. So this reception is something what we do for all of our students. Of course, it is free of charge. And I think all of them every year, they enjoy it a lot because we've been doing it for quite some time already. Now, there is also another party at the end. It is not so big, it is not so luxurious, but it is still very nice when it comes to the environment. It is basically the graduation ceremony where we invite all of our speakers and all of our internship partners. There, you can basically, you'll be given the certificate. Our certificates from ECCE, They are accompanied also by basically European, by the credits which are being recognized by the European Union, because we have as our partners high-end universities. So if you want to transfer credits from our university, it is something what also can be done. And basically this is like the last moment of the whole program. So at the beginning there is a grand reception, at the end there is the final ceremony, and as always it is for all of our students free of charge, and it can be a nice last moment before you go for the internship to different European cities, also to your friends from the program. Now, moving on, I spoke about the first part, the end, but in between, we also organize many events. Some of them we do for our students free of charge. Some of them we do for our students basically on on-demand basis. So if you, I don't know, visit opera, go to a gallery, enjoy the laser game, or do an escape, for instance, we also try to basically fill the summer with these activities, and we do it for our students. And it goes without saying that even if it is being paid, we do this cost basis. So we will not be making any money on you by just, doing the program. We just want to make sure that you will enjoy your summer to the maximum. But please be prepared for one thing if you decide to join us. I told you that there will be 30 classes, each of them for 3 hours. Then test. We are not really like some kind of a summer camp where you will go and you will see Prague and you will see Europe. Of course, you will see Prague and you will see Europe and many other places. But this is not really a summer program which is focused on traveling. We very much focused for 100%. We focus on the development of the career of our students, because very often, we are even receiving emails after 2 or 3 years from our alumni telling us now they've been working at the United Nations, or they really were accepted to the elite universities in the US, and they are very grateful to us. So we understand that our core value is really to give you a real life taste, a real life experience, and to boost very much the profile of your CV, and to boost it in a way which I don't think that any other program in the world can do at this moment. Just to give you a very concrete example from last year, and we are very much getting to the end. I promised you it will be linked to your market in India. Last year, I don't remember how many students from India we had, but I do remember specifically 2 of them who were from India. One of them, Sai, she did an internship with a company called Lego. You saw Lego, which is a nice coincidence. And when she came back to India, she applied to one of the top 5 law firms located in India. And when she was accepted and she was offered a job by this law firm, it was told to her after she started that the only reason why she was accepted was because she did internship and because she basically passed our course, which was very uniquely structured when it comes to the content, because immediately she understood M&A, she understood corporate law, she understood real estate, insolvency. So these 2 reasons were the 2 primary reasons why she was offered a job in India, because there are very few basically make a story around themselves in this way. The second student or second example I would like to give you is a student. Unfortunately, I don't remember her name at this moment. I can search for it if you'd be really interested. And she did an internship with Taylor. And Chapman Taylor is an architecture studio, and they have their branches in many different countries around the world. And she did internship initially for 4 weeks, as all of our students I think in Prague. And after she finished the internship, they actually asked her whether she would be interested to stay for 2 more 4 weeks. She accepted the extension, And then after she finished even the additional 4 weeks, she was offered a job opportunity in India because they have their studio in India. They had experience with her, so it would be silly from them not to give her a chance. Now, my point or my message is, I do not job opportunities because there is nothing guaranteed, and especially when it comes to big corporations like Siemens or T-Mobile, very often the Indian leadership is a very different than the European one, and they very often even do not communicate between themselves. But the thing is, by going through our programs, by being capable to say, from this manager, from this architect, from this lawyer, and I did internship in this company and I really understood what they do, you are making yourself unique on the market. And then it is just about you taking this uniqueness and selling it to your potential employer. Now, so now my suggestion would be I will get back to your questions. I will see whether you would like to have anything added, and we will be here at least as long as there will be something to be answered. So now I will go through those which are highlighted, and from Shreya, when I can apply for the program or the course, can I do it now? Basically, my answer would be yes, and I would even suggest, recommend it. The reason is very simple. Because of the COVID-19, we decided to implement discounts, which we would like to give to students who will apply. So if you apply this summer, you can use this discount. You can basically go through the interview process with us. But of course, there is no pressure. If you want to join us in the summer 2021, you can easily also apply in February or January. But I would like to add basically two things which are important. Number one, we will not be providing based on the COVID, and more importantly, always we do have limited capacity when it comes to our internships. So in the moment when we are already filled, we cannot accept more students, especially when it comes to the programs like architecture. Should be done through through the organizer of this webinar. So if you want to learn more about them, I would suggest you to contact them and discuss it also either with them or with us directly. Now, I think we, to a certain extent, if you feel you would like to have anything else related to the application process or our partner, to be explained further, please let us know, and I can spend more time speaking about it. Now, the second question, which I do have here, is from Suzanne, which is asking, does the student get the country for their internship? I would say yes, 100%, but there is one small thing. Because we want to be fair to all of our students, we do it on a competitive basis. So if you do remember, I told you that the program initially, or in the initial part, it takes 3 weeks. We do an exam, which is the same for all of our students. And on the top of the results of this exam, we put activity points. We basically make the grades, and based on the grades and the ranking, basically, the student who is the first can choose basically any company from, which is offering internship. The company has a duty to accept him. So just to give you an example, let's say if we have there a Lego as a company, Lego will be offering internship in Prague. So if you want to go to Lego, you will need to do the internship in Prague. On the other hand, if you go, for instance, to the company Perez Lorca, which is located only in Madrid, if you decide to choose this company, they will have a duty to accept you, but you will need to go for the internship in Madrid. But no matter what, the choice always rests with students. So you have 100% basically opportunity to choose which city and influence it in this way. I also see the question from Redam, what are the job opportunities after this course? I think this is something what we addressed already, that what we try to do is we try to give basically opportunities to students. It is not about us being HR. If you go for our program, immediately we will get you to Amazon or we will get you to T-Mobile. But what we try to do is we try to build extremely unique CV, extremely unique stories for our students. Something what 99.5% of students on the market will not have, because you will have with a very good company in Europe behind you. Plus, you will have, more importantly, all of those information you will gather from the courses, but more importantly, from people who are really doing all of those things, including, for instance, HR process, because we will also have 3 hours HR person running a huge European company or corporation, and she will explain to you in detail something what you cannot find anywhere on the internet, how these corporations, how these companies work with CVs. And you might be surprised that many corporations, even without reading, they throw away 99% of CVs if they are not including what they want to hear. But all of these things, now unfortunately we don't have time, and I don't have myself the experience with this. But just to give you an idea about how practically we try to do our courses and what kind of topics we try to cover. Now, another question I will take from Sony. There is a question whether we can give an overall expense and internship related to economics and econometrics expenses estimation. If I understood the question correctly, I'm not sure whether I'll be answering it, but if I don't, just let me know and I will try to follow up. The expenses, how expensive it is. When it comes to our programs, the cheapest one at this moment is architecture, which costs 2,000 euros without early bird. With early bird, it can be cheaper. The most expensive is law, which costs 3,500 euros. I think these costs. On the top of that, you need to put accommodation and travel expenses. But otherwise, when you take into account these costs, everything else I would say is relatively cheap. This is also the reason why we are running the program and keeping it in Prague, because Prague is like a local hub. When you go to Central Europe, almost all the big rating in Central Europe, they have their headquarters and basically their operations run from Prague, which gives us very unique environment when it comes to working with the best. But at the same time, because Prague is located in the Central Europe, have the costs which are relatively small, comparing them to, for instance, Germany. If you go for an internship afterwards to Germany, you need to be prepared that the costs might be higher. But if you want to get very detailed expenses, how we list them, we have for our students prepared also the charts where you can see for the breakfast on average, for the lunch on average, for the mobile phone, for all of these things. So if you want to know in details the expenses, just let us know and we would be happy to pass it to you. Now, there is a question from Harry. Now, I apologize for probably incorrect pronunciation. He's been asking on internships in the field of engineering. I would ask, or here, it is very important to realize what kind of engineering do you mean? Because there is on one side, there is a civil engineering, or I would say architecture, and all of these areas around engineering. And in that case, I will navigate you to our architecture program. because when it comes to our architecture program, many issues are somewhere in between engineering and architecture. But on the top of that, we also have many classes which are related to the negotiation with real estate, basically people and companies involved in basically building up those construction sites, and there the engineering is involved. If you mean software engineering and IT, then I will navigate you more into the IT in the IT way, where our program will be covering, product design, for instance, things, and many things around designing the software, and basically skills which coders do not have. So it depends, what do you mean by the engineer, architecture engineer, or whether you mean IT engineering. No matter what, both we cover, and because internships are part of our programs, of course, we offer internships in those fields. Or if it was any other kind of engineering, please just let us those questions. There was a very simple question from Priyanka, whether we offer also internships abroad in the field of architecture. If by abroad you mean countries outside of the Czech Republic, very easily I can answer yes. We do have some internship partners, I think, for architecture in Hungary, in Germany, in Great Britain, in other countries. But for instance, last year, and this is just just sharing with you experience, when our architecture students last year, even from India or Pakistan or your part of the world basically, where they were applying for internships, originally they also wanted to go to some other other European countries, but at the end of the day, they actually selected Prague because they very much enjoyed the professionals and companies speaking to them, because their architecture experience was very enriching for them. Once again, here we can actually share vast experience we have already behind selecting internships. So again, we can explain to you in more details why I think that is not something very complicated. Now, the other question is whether the companies now I'm reading from outside source, whether the campus and interview students for post vacants in their companies. Here, in this case, I would say that it really depends in what field you will do the summer program, because there are fields like law where it is very difficult, for instance, for companies from Europe to offer an opportunity to students from other regions, because your whole 5 years you will basically study Indian law. So you'll be qualified to do Indian law in India. If you be hired in Europe or in the United States, basically it will be because you can attract, for instance, Indian clients, or you can pass this knowledge and somehow advise the clients in a better way from India. So, to make long story short, what I wanted to say is, it happens very rarely. We do have some employment opportunities. I think one of our former students, also from India, he was employed by Skoda, the car manufacturer. And he's now with their intellectual property department working for them. But otherwise, I see bigger opportunities in the area or business, because if you are basically matched with a company for which your profile is relevant, and the company will basically in 1 month discover that they would like to work with you, that you have very good personality, that you do understand what you do, they would be ridiculous not to give you an opportunity. So if it makes sense for the companies, of course they try to engage with their alumni, because otherwise it would be just a waste of time for them. When it comes to companies coming to our campus or to our premises and being engaged with students, we do not do it in a formal way. We do not do some kind of career days where you will have in one moment 200 students and them matching. What we believe in is more like an informal networking. I told you about the grand opening reception. I told you about the final ceremony. And so we try to give, opportunities to our students to speak to those companies, to speak to their, leaders, and maybe build up relationships with them, which then they can basically not monetize, but better word is utilize for their own career choices. So this is, how we try to help their career prospects, during the program and after the program. Once again, if you have some ideas of what might help you, also what we try to do during the program is, you are always, if you feel there is something what can help you, like last year, there was a student from China who came to us and he told us, I'm very interested in Clifford Chance, in the big international law firms. Would it be possible to schedule a meeting with one of the senior representatives of the company? We tried to help, he met with them, and I think he's been still in touch with them. So we try to help also individually in this way our students. So if you feel, my suggestion would be, when it comes to all of your prospects, everything what you would like to achieve with your career, it would be the best if you communicate it either to our partner, and during the application process, they will also communicate it to us. So then we can structure potentially also the opportunities for you. Or when you will be here in Prague, just come over, tell us what you might need, and we always try to do our best for to our students. Now, going all the way back, I'm thinking whether there is anything else what might be relevant. Yes. So one of the highlights which I was asked, that's a clarification from Hari Balaji. He's been clarifying about mechanical and manufacturing engineering. When I spoke about engineering, architecture, and IT, as you can see, there are many different engineers. So I underestimated the situation. When manufacturing engineering, we do not have yet the program which will be focused on when it comes to lectures on this field. But we have many companies which do have, manufacturing engineering, streams or people, or basically they are active in this field. An example can be, for instance, Valo, which is a very strong, spare part manufacturing company. So theoretically, you can do internship with them, but then we will need to know your profile as soon as possible, because we can try to schedule or to basically structure the internship for manufacturing engineering students. Programs are now in the field of business, law, architecture, and IT. If we do not know, we might not, basically, this is not something what we have been doing actively at this moment. Now, another question which just came, and then I will get to another follow-up, is whether there is any IT-related project management internship. 100% what we want to do with our IT program. So our IT program will not be about coding, because coding you can learn easily by yourself or by your study, but we will try to basically deliver to you the content when it comes to skills like IT project management. It's very difficult to acquire it in the real life. And also all internships will be structured around this topic. And then I was also told that there is another question, which is important. And that is, what about the visas? Whether Indian students are getting visas easily? Question from Rida. This question for me is very simple, because so far, every single one of our Indian students, they got visas without any problems. In case there might be some problem and you will be rejected on visas, we will refund you completely with very small administration fee, like 0.5%, just for the expenses which are related to the transfer. Be rejected on visa, we will completely refund you. But once again, I would like to highlight, it never happened that any of our Indian students would be rejected on visa. We had so far in those years we've been running ECCE, only I think 3 or 4 of them I think were from Iran. So Iran so far was the only country where we were rejected when it comes to visa applications. One of the reasons is that we have behind us also universities. And if we need to make a strong visa application, and if students are rejected on the first attempt, we try partner university and they help us with the visa. But so far, when it comes to India, it was not even needed. Now, Tony is asking whether students have stay back option. Unfortunately, I don't know what is the stay back option. Whether it means to stay for a longer time in Europe. You mean by staying longer time in Europe? I would say no, because you need to always follow the visa restrictions. But at the same time, one of the things which I would like to highlight, if any of you will decide to go for IT program, this is the program where companies really want to hire from. They would like to work with those students in a long liked by the company, and if they would like to keep you, what will be happening next is, unfortunately, you will need to go back to your country. But if the company wants to continue, they will still have work for you. They can get a reward for working with them, and they will immediately after your internship start to be, working on your stay work permit option. So you can maybe in few months go back for the full-time position to their company. And also the companies we work with on our IT program, they want them to support our students in a way that they would like to keep them in the Czech Republic if they be interested, and even help them with their full-time university education. So you can have an option to be an employee, paid employee with a company, plus even have a support for the follow-up study, because they might like to work with you in a long term. IT, from all of those fields we do, I feel is the most international one. So if you can really show your competency, there is a likelihood that you can stay. Now, since I do not see any more questions, any new questions from you, if you have any new ones, I would suggest you to either get in touch with, well, my suggestion, the easiest one, since you are in touch already with our partner, just call them or write them and ask them any questions you have. If those questions will be unique in able to provide you with the answer, we would be happy to assist them. And if you like everything, of course, they can also put you directly in touch with us, and we would be happy to address any other questions. Of course, if you feel it is better to address us directly, you can find our contact details on our website or on Facebook. You can easily write us. But once again, I think our partner company organizing this webinar is a wonderful place to go to. So for the moment, I hope you will have a very pleasant evening in India. I know that you are a few hours ahead of us. Maybe one last wish from me. Here in the Czech 5 countries when it comes to COVID. So basically there are no cases here and everything is perfectly safe and open. I know that the situation in India at this moment is very different. So the last wish which I would like to express to you, I hope you will be safe. I hope you will have a lot of energy. And I also hope that we will see each other next summer. Take care and be in touch. Bye.